Oh my god, hey!
Hello!
We are having a stagey 2-show day adventure today in an unusual place.
Hi, where are we?
I mean, not an unusual place, it's a perfectly nice place, but a place where we have never done a 2-show day before.
I'm actually really surprised we haven't done one.
Well, it's very doable,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of theatres in this part of the country. We're still in the UK, don't get that excited, we have not flown. We have taken the train over to the West Country, and we are currently in... Can anyone guess? Bristol. The answer is Bristol. We have travelled to Bristol Temple Meads train station, and we are now approaching the city centre, I think, hopefully.
We are a little bit of a tip. It is a tiny bit of a walk from the train station.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like some of the UK train stations where you arrive and you're like, oh, they're already in the city.
In fact, that's true for both of the places we're visiting today.
I mean, Bath's quite easy though. Bath is actually by the shopping centre and all, that part of is actually the town centre, whereas here, you have to walk quite a way before you get to... You're right there.
Yeah, I was looking at, there's a seagull on the top of that statue, and I was just trying to work out who the statue was, because you never know in this country. Could be a racist, could be a slave owner, you never know. In, I was going to say this part of the country, but...
This is the part of the country where all that happens.
Yeah.
Coming down at the...
Yeah. So, acknowledgement and all that. But yes, we are going to Bath later this evening. We're in Bristol this afternoon. They're only about 10 minutes apart on the train, but we're having a 2-show day in the West Country, everybody. Come join us. And we are not alone. We are going to be joined in Bristol this afternoon by Bristol's own Sean Tassell, who is over here, aka Theatre Fan. This is Bristol, everybody. Southwest coastal British town. Are you a town or a city?
The city.
Oh, Bournemouth's not a city. Why do you get to be a city?
It's also not on the coast.
What do you mean it's not on the coast? I see water right there. Aeron has just showed me a map, and as it turns out, super not on the coast. In fact, that is a river. It's near the coast.
It leads to the coast.
It's coast adjacent, as is everything if you drive for long enough. The word I have been looking for through all of this, evidently, is harbour. This is, in fact, a harbour. We are on our way to go and get some lunch before our matinee. I just asked Sean, is this Zaza Bazaar or Bazaar Zaza? This is going to be our first attempt at a lunch station. Oh, look at that, it's a Ferris wheel. Oh, fun. Yes, we're here at the Ritorno Lounge, one of the many lounges across the country. All of these names loosely mean something connecting to their location. So, Ritorno. I'll Google that once we get inside. So we're here at the Ritorno Lounge. Couldn't work out what the significance of Ritorno was. Did a Google, didn't get there. But oh, hello. This is your sign to do a lounge as pre-theatre dining, because you can scan to order and pay. We're already paid up, which means all we need to do is wait for our food and then eat our food, so we don't have to wait to get the bill afterwards, which in my experience is the most time-consuming part when you're on your way to a show. And also, a great menu that gives you, you can come here for brunch, you can come here for lunch, you can come here for dinner. We have little tapas courses, lots of delicious stuff, very gluten-free friendly. We love a lounge for those reasons. And here is our lunch. I have got the Twisted Chicken Club ciabatta with this drink I'm obsessed with. This is their pink lemonade. It is so flavorful. I enjoy it very much. Aeron is enjoying a gluten-free tuna melt with some fries. Sean's got a sausage butty with some hash browns, making breakfast last all day long. What's this sculpture meant to be on this bridge? Is it meant to be? Is it musical? Is it meant to be a tornado? Oh, bless you. Oh, it's made Aeron sneeze. So despite my geographical ineptitude, there is an aquarium over there. There is a van selling ice creams.
Disco ball.
There is a big disco ball. There is this Ferris wheel. For a place that is not on the coast, they are behaving a lot like a coastal town. I'm just saying. Careful underfoot, everyone on this slippery ground. Cut to a clip of us in a hospital waiting room. This is the aforementioned big silver disco ball that is, in fact, what do you say it was, planetarium?
Yeah, it's where they have the shows to start it.
There you go. Disco Ball. That is a musical theatre song that you won't know yet, unless you also saw one of the first few performances or the workshop of the show Why Am I So Single? But you'll know it soon. Can we see ourselves? Can we see ourselves? Can we? Yes! Wave to yourselves, tiny people in my camera. This is what everyone's wearing today. This disco ball makes me look wide. I've got my Here We Are tote bag. I've got a Donald Duck hat on. Aeron and Sean are arguing about Bristolian geography. I'm going to show you another look at this Donald Duck hat that I've never worn. Someone gave me this as a gift, I think. Aeron, did you give me this? Do you know where I got this hat? I don't remember buying this hat. But one day I opened my wardrobe and I had it.
My parents got it for you.
Someone gave me this as a gift, and I'm very grateful because it's a great hat, but I just don't remember that transaction. I apologise. But I put it on today because it matched this plaid shirt that I'm wearing in honour of our first show of the day, which is Come From Away, by the way. So that's exciting. We're going to the Bristol Hippodrome to go and see the current UK and Ireland, I assume, touring production of Come From Away. We've just crossed the bridge with the sculptures that we don't understand. Not one of Bristol's better bridges, and I can say that because Bristol does bridges very well. Famously, the Clifton Suspension Bridge and whatnot. But yeah, that bridge is just okay. That's the second aggressive seagull I have seen today. It's taken that crisp packet. These seagulls are lost. It's not the sea. We've established this.
The crisp pack in there and put it to the ground.
Advice from Sean is to be careful of these cycle lanes that are adjacent to the pedestrianised walking area. I mean, really they're one with the pedestrianised walking area, and that's how they'll get ya. And here we are at the Bristol Hippodrome for Come From Away, the first of our theatrical entertainments today on this two-show day in the West Country. They're also getting ready for the upcoming UK tour of Mary Poppins, which is going to be starting here, which is very appropriate because this is the venue where Mary Poppins first premiered as a musical. Look at that little umbrella up there. There you go. That'll keep it dry. Now, this is my first time going to the Bristol Hippodrome. Aeron, your first time at the Bristol Hippodrome? I, for a long time, have wanted to visit this theatre. I've heard that it's huge. All the big tours tend to come here. But for your benefit, we're going to go to a segment I'm calling Hippodrome History with Sean. Sean, favourite or first show you ever saw at the Hippodrome, to your recollection?
I believe it was a panto, but the one I remember the most was I bought myself a £13 ticket in the Gods to see an amateur production of The Sound of Music, which I absolutely loved, and then I started coming on myself.
Whenabouts was this?
This was probably going back 10 years ago now.
Wow.
That was when I first started going to the theatre on my own, because I could never really afford it, and I got a cheap seat in the Gods.
See, I was ready for you to say the 80s. I don't know why.
And so funny. And but actually, I enjoyed that more than the UK tour that came around.
Plot twist. Plot twist. Local PSA from Sean. There are multiple entrances here, slowly filling into the theatre, but you can also use the piano bar entrance over there. And of course, this was also a Frank Matcham designed theatre. Frank Matcham, an iconic theatre architect who designed many of the country's greatest theatres, helped bring us the Bristol Hippodrome. Now, immediately upon arrival to this theatre, we have a merchandise kiosk here with, oh dear, it's a cute tote bag. Going to have to stop Aeron James from buying that because that is a lovely tote bag design. A nice good size as well. That will set you back £12. Very reasonably priced merchandise, if I may say. You can see all of the prices here for the t-shirt, the hoodie, the magnet, the keychain, the tote bag, the pin set, the socks, and the mug. This here is the keychain there. Let me turn that around to demonstrate for you. There you go. Where are we? There we are. Come From Away, and little logo there. This is the pin set. That's a moose. It's got a moose pin. We've got a mug that has the Come From Away logo, and on the other side says "Be anxious for nothing." We have the beautifully modelled Come From Away socks, which, fun fact, I am wearing right now. There you go, how appropriate. And we also have t-shirt and hoodie over here. I'll go show you the front, but you can see on the back of that t-shirt we have the tour dates, including Bristol, somewhere there, just towards the top of the right-hand side. There you go, there's the front of the hoodie. That's a nice logo there. The same on the front of the t-shirt, but larger. And we've also got Little magnet there. This is the Stairway of Stars, so it seems, where I guess you can buy one of these to presumably to help support the theatre and also as a tribute to the stars in your life. There you go. Just up some stairs we have a random window with some stained glass fish, which is appropriate because we also have this photo op here where you can kiss the fish from Come From Away, which as soon as traffic subsides, I will get Sean to model for you. Sean, you have to kiss the fish.
I'm not a fish lover.
Oh, okay. Take my camera. Take my camera. Yeah, my perspective first.
Kiss the fish.
Foolishly, I took my eyes off him for 2 seconds, and Aeron James bought the tote bag.
It's the Dover Fault.
Okay.
Like the memories.
It's the Dover Fault, which we have seen, which we have been to.
From it when we were at the Dover Fault, so we're gonna get the Dover Fault.
Fine. At this performance, the roles of Kevin T and others will be performed by Alan Hawke. How exciting! Alan Hawke of Beauty and the Beast, Alan Hawke of 42nd Street, trading the tap dancing for a little Canadian acting. We're in G4 and 5 of the stalls, and this is our view of the iconic Beowulf Barrett set design for Come From Away, now on tour on this very wide stage, hence some of the stuff they've used at the sides just to bring in the playing space just a little bit. And this is the vast and glorious Bristol Hippodrome Auditorium. I'm having to show you all of this now because there's no interval in this show. Also, we're at a captioned performance. There you go. Do you know what's very fun is we also have other details about the show explained there on the caption screen, including the nature of the Newfoundland accent. It's not showing you now, but it's probably because the show is about to begin. I'll see you at the curtain call. Destroyed me, wrecked me, not unlike Whitney Houston. I am currently so emotional. So emotional! How you feeling, Sean?
It was lovely to see the show again. It's just obviously so life-affirming.
Yeah.
A fantastic cast.
Yeah. I am going to have to make a joke as we go past Bombay Boulevard, not to be confused with the Angelo Weber musical. I cried in different places, but I think it's I don't know if I mentioned Aaron's making a vlog at the same time. You can go check out his perspective of our theatre trip over on his channel, at Aeron James. But I don't know if I've mentioned already, obviously earlier this summer, he and I both flew to Gander, Newfoundland, with some difficulty, to go and see the non-replica production of Come From Away that they staged over the summer there. Obviously Gander being where the show is set. If you don't know Come From Away, it's the story of the community in Gander, Newfoundland, this small Canadian community who took in thousands of people in the days following the September 11th attacks and took care of them, and it's this amazing story of their community spirit and generosity. And so for the past 2 summers, they have done productions of the show in Gander where it is set, and we also got to meet the real people the characters are based on. We got to see a lot of the locations featured in the show. We got to go to the Dover Fault, and so that's forever changed my perspective on it. It allows me to visualize so many more moments of the show, both meaningful ones and completely incidental ones. Like when he talks about like going to a gas station on the main drag, I'm like, I know where that is. When they talk about there being millions of steps at the Dover Fault, I'm like, no, there aren't. But there are a few. There are millions. But yeah, and so I think that's why I now have a completely different emotional response that's even more heightened to a show that already made me cry every single time. Now I'm just a mess. Now, fantastic ensemble cast, as always. Loved this company.
Yeah.
Very strong company for the show. Does anyone have an MVP of this afternoon's performance of Come From Away? That's one of the best Kevin Jays I've ever seen, because he wasn't bitter the entire time.
Yeah.
There were moments of humanity in it, which I liked.
I love the Diane.
That was such a good Diane.
Such a good one.
Apologies, I don't know. They've sold out programs and I don't know every single member of this
The
cast.
Nick was super British. Like, I think that's the most British I've ever seen.
I do like a British Nick. I do.
Bree's vocals is Harry.
Yeah. Oh, that last bit.
Yeah.
That last bit. The clarity on that. You are here. And the last. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Really liked Natasha Barnes. Sold a lot of the early emotional moments of the show for me. Yeah. Great performances.
Funny good.
Yeah, that was like the Bonnie Doug
It's so sweet.
sass moments of like,
Yeah, perfect.
do you see any flames? Yeah.
Almost, yeah,
Very
that
good.
was that moment in this thing.
Yeah. Obviously, I cried at Unga, the rare bonobo
Yeah.
chimpanzee. I will cry every time. That's just, that's so devastating.
Yeah.
Who cried first? I cried really early this time. Normally, I don't cry until...
Do you know, it took me a lot longer.
It's normally the bit with
Yeah.
the food, and they say it's as if they never slept.
It took me until Hannah. It took me until Hannah said it's over. And
I always, that always gets me. That always gets me.
I
You had
think
a really
we're
long time.
all together. I think it was just like, I guess because it's the first time I've seen the tour production.
We've also seen it recently, so it
Yeah.
didn't have the surprise element.
It was, it was like, for a bit of it, I was spending it like watching, see, how is it different from either production? And that was my focus on the first time seeing this cast. So I was like, what are they choosing to do?
I started tearing up when he was looking at the size of the planes and working out how many people. I can't tell you why. I can't tell. Just when they were anticipating them. I don't think. No.
We were on a plane recently.
I don't think it's because we were on one of them necessarily. Yeah. But there were so many moments where I was like, oh, I know where that is, and I know what that is. Yeah.
Just been like, no, I actually can see exactly what they were looking at and where they were standing, and I was like, well, they said about how many steps, and I was like, it's not that many steps.
That's what I just said.
It's like, 45 steps.
Yeah.
And I will say, didn't miss the revolt.
Didn't miss the revolve.
No.
So there are only really 2 big revolve moments that I remember. One of them is Stop the World, and the way they've restaged that really
It
works.
still works, and that's why I was worried that you'd lose their chairs.
If anything, it feels a little more personal to the 2 of them because they're a little more alone.
Little Island.
Rather than I do end up just watching people moving the chairs and stressing about them getting there in time. And their first like Tati Ginze out of the whereas the first time the revolve moves, they stood up and did like a big walking circle.
See, mine I was nervous about the most. I think it was one where they did a song and then the plane moves, like when they're on the plane. But my big one was Something's Changed. So I was worried how that staging would be, where the whole set's moving and they're like appearing to say they're talking, but didn't miss it. Oh, it still worked really well. Because the choreography is really strong there. Like the motion of everybody.
Yeah.
Still works. It still keeps that same feeling. Like,
Yeah.
there's motion, but it's purposeful.
And the Gander production was incredibly special, but there are a lot of little details about this one, or there are a couple details about this one that I missed. It's when he writes the check on the plane and puts it in the hat. I love that bit, and you can almost not notice it.
I love it, because she marines him first, but they didn't put money in it.
Yeah. I'd never noticed, same character, how annoyed he is by Nick asking to sit in between him and Diane at the beginning. How irritated he is, and like he goes to say no, and then she says yes, and he looks at Diane like, why are you letting this Englishman sit on this empty seat? I'd never noticed that, but it's genius. Loved it. And of course, having not Beulah, but the plane character.
Oh yeah, the Liverpudlian.
With the Liverpudlian accent. Obviously, it doesn't happen in the North American productions, only happens in the UK. Such a good choice. But yeah, had a lovely time at Come From Away. We return to the vlogging portion of the day because we are trekking from Bristol into Bath, which is not a rush. There's plenty of time. That was a one-act show. Our evening show starts at 7 because it is an actual press night, and that's something
you wouldn't normally have to deal with.
Yeah, that's something that usually happens for press nights. Not often for touring shows, but this is like a regional. This is the start of a little like play tour at Theatre Royal Bath. We're going to see the History Boys. But yes, the only reason we're in a bit of a hurry now is because we're meeting another friend for dinner. Who is, if anyone is diligently watching all of these vlogs, if you remember the moment in the middle of my second part of the Edinburgh Fringe vlog, where I said I just magically ran into someone I knew at the Traverse Theatre, who was on their way to go see a show, that's who we're meeting for dinner. And can probably catch up after that whirlwind hello. But yes, heading back across this square, which I will show you here, on our way to the train station, which, as a reminder, a little bit of a walk from the Hippodrome, also from the Old Vic, the Bristol Old Vic, another theatre here, which is not too far from where we are right now, to go head into Bath. Train only takes about 10 minutes. Nice views as we walk away from Bristol. Nice row of pastel houses. I'm sure you can get that on a postcard. I'm very annoyed with myself that we forgot about the food drive that they're doing as part of Come From Away, being here at the Bristol Hippodrome. And I've mentioned it so many times, and I've been talking about it so much, and I wrote about it in Musicals magazine, the fact that there are a lot of events and acts of kindness and pay it forward things happening at each of the touring venues, many of them orchestrated by our brilliant friend Lydia, who is following the Come From Away tour around the country. I don't think she's been involved in Bristol only because she's been in Ottawa seeing Come From Away, seeing the Canadian production, because she is a big fan of the show, but she's been doing amazing work travelling around, orchestrating all sorts of exciting campaigns of kindness, basically. And I was going to bring cereal today and I forgot, so instead, in lieu of cereal, I'm going to donate to Lydia's campaign, and I will attach a link in the description so you can do so as well, to help provide all sorts of necessities and generosities and kindnesses on behalf of Lydia and the current UK and Ireland tour of Come From Away. It is all good because with 7 minutes to go until our train departs in the direction of Bath, we are here at Bristol Temple Meads train station, which is the large building with the clock tower that you can see up ahead of us, the clock tower indicating that we have 6 or 7 minutes to get to platform 13. I'm telling you to remind myself, and then head on to our next destination. We're going to go get dinner in Bath and then go see a play, a 3-hour play after a 100-minute matinee. Lol. It is actually a little bit tighter than we'd anticipated. Maybe we started celebrating too soon because there's a lot of train station to traverse here. We're at 7 and 6. We need 13. And the West Cornwall Pasty Company smells so good. Oh my god. Over we go. I can see it. It's ahead of me. We have still like 150 seconds. We'll be fine. Just because everyone around us is running. Here it is. Nobody panic. We got there. Woohoo! Just in time to head down to Bath. Goodbye, Bristol. And as if by magic, we arrive in Bath. Just 10 minutes up the road from Bristol, both in the West Country, and one of the most picturesque train arrivals, I think, in the United Kingdom. In no small part due to the fact it is a very attractive town with Roman roots, aquae sulis, and all that. My Latin GCSE comes flying back to me every time I arrive. I'm joking.
About to rain.
It is about to rain, which is not ideal, but we're not here for the whole day as we've done previously. We've done this a couple of summers in a row, I feel. A nice theatre trip to Bath. It's a nice place to come to on a summer's day when it's not trying to rain on you. There's a lovely hot spring bath spa, which is with a rooftop pool, which is just lovely. Sadly, we don't have nearly enough time to enjoy that today, and it's usually very booked up. But would recommend. We are very nearby to where we're having dinner in about 15 minutes, meeting a friend. We're going to the Cozy Club, which is basically the same thing. It's basically the same chain as the lounges where we went for lunch. I'd already booked this for dinner when Sean suggested the lounge for lunch. So it just so happens we're going to essentially the same place twice in one day, but I'm going to eat different things and drink different things.
So I can't have the same thing at both.
There you go. So that's different enough. But in the meantime, we might have just enough time to wander around the littlest bit and maybe go to the nice fudge place and see if they're doing samples and or entire blocks of fudge that I could buy, because I'm tempted. I shan't lie to you all. This is where you will find our usual fudge place, adjacent to the big old, is it cathedral? It's an abbey? I can't remember at this exact moment, but also adjacent to the Roman baths here on my right that you can tour around and visit. Another lovely touring attraction. And the fudge place, the fudge kitchen, is just over here. You can see them make the fudge, you can try samples, and you can buy fudge for yourself. Yum, yum, yum. This is dark chocolate and sea salt fudge sample. Oh, it is still real.
Premium soft. That's how we like it. If it's not premium soft, it's his fault. We'll hit him for you.
It's premium soft, right, guys? It's premium soft.
We secured the fudge. We secured the fudge. Ah, fudge done. So tried two samples. Tried a dark chocolate one, which was very nice, very creamy. And then I tried the cherry sours because I was fascinated, and it's a new flavour. And I liked it a lot for a little bite. I couldn't eat a whole slab. And admittedly, you're not obliged to eat the whole slab in one sitting. However, this is going to be my post-show dessert after a 3-hour play, because we probably don't have enough of a time window now for a multiple course sit-down dinner, so we don't necessarily have time for dessert. So this knocks that one out in advance with train dessert later on. Gonna have some train fudge. And, oh, we should say what flavours we bought. I got white chocolate for me, and you got
Peanut butter and chocolate.
Peanut butter and chocolate, which is hugely emblematic of both of us, actually. This is not the way that we came.
Straight down in there.
Lovely, beautiful streets of Bath. If you're thinking, gosh, this looks like a movie location, you would not be mistaken, because they filmed bits of Bridgerton here. They also filmed bits of the Wonka movie here. Various things. For years, Bath has been used as a filming location because it's so damn picturesque. And in a lot of wide shots, it can pass for a lot older than a lot of other places. So there you go. And one delicious dinner at the Cozy Club later. I had the buttermilk chicken, and it was gorgeous. But also, and it's all about the beverages today, they do a drink very nicely. I had the cherry bakewell cocktail. Oh my gosh, if you have a sweet tooth like myself, it is just delicious and tastes dangerously non-alcoholic, even though it super is. There is definitely Disaronno in that. But we are now heading over to the Theatre Royal Bath. It's a 7 p.m. curtain, and it's about 6:45 now, if I'm lying. So we're going to pace our way over there, pick up our press tickets, and go and see the History Boys. Alan Bennett's The History Boys. This is a 20th anniversary production, new production of the show. Here we go, just around the corner here, with a very exciting cast. I was very excited when I saw this casting come out, and I was like, oh, I really want to go see that. Didn't know if I was going to get the chance. Thrilled to be here. Is that a real horse? That's a real horse. Okay, it's all going on. Also, I'm going to keep this rolling because that's the Theatre Royal Bath up there on the left. Opposite it on the right here, Z Hotel, which I'm sure during the summer has gotten a little bit more expensive, but when not during the height of the British summer, very reasonable and very good recommendation. Loved that hotel when we stayed there, and you can ask for anything closer to Theatre Royal Bath, which is just here. I'm out of breath because I just walked uphill while talking to you all, but here we are for the History Boys. This is the inside of the Theatre Royal Bath. We are heading down to one of its more interesting bar spaces, the Jeremy Fry Bar. I'll show you a little sneak peek of it. We're in the interval, by the way. Here we are in the Jeremy Fry Bar. It's ever so slightly subterranean. We have nice rustic walls, I'm going to call them, and look who it is. It's Janie D, who I recently saw at the Edinburgh Fringe, and who I met at the Edinburgh Fringe. We're down here with our interval wine and the programme. And this, we're back in our seats, is the auditorium of Theatre Royal Bath. Reminds me a little bit of the Old Vic in its configuration, the way that you have this stall section going back to a wide wraparound circle, then continuing up across multiple levels. And in terms of the design and all of these pillars, reminds me a little bit of the Criterion Theatre in the West End. But it is a gorgeous little playhouse, and here is your little glimpse of the set there. Very, very classroom based. Check out the back wall. I've quite been enjoying the playground lines. And they're big into the 80s soundtrack in this one. If you don't know, set in Sheffield in the 80s. Alan Bennett play, The History Boys. I'll tell you more about it after the second act. Thank you, Theatre Royal Bath, and goodbye. Also, that only ran 2 hours 45, and I'm sure it said longer than that on the website. I'm sure I had reason to believe that that was meant to be 3 hours. In any case,
3 hours including it.
I'm sure that's what I read. Or
Yeah, you said that to me.
I know I said it. Perhaps I misquoted. But yes, if that helps you with timings, obviously most performances will not be a 7 o'clock start. So if that helps to know, if you're seeing it in Bath, or if it is indeed coming to a theatre near you, worth saying, both the shows we've seen today are touring onwards to further venues. So if you didn't have the chance to see them by the time you're seeing this video at their current West Country locations, I think this lot are going next to Cornwall, I think, to Truro, to the Hall for Cornwall. And I'm not sure where next. This is the way we came from. I'm not sure where next for... Sorry, we're doing multiple things at once. I'm not sure where next for Comfort Way. Do you know where Comfort Way is going next?
I know where it is in November.
The dates, yeah. At some point it's going to Wolverhampton. At some point it's going to Salford.
It ends in Salford.
It has a lot of venues ahead of it, as does the History Boys, which is only just commencing. I know it's going to Nottingham at some point. So do look them up. And do come and visit the regional theatres that we have shown you today to see more theatre. Both terrific theatres, both quite iconic theatres of the British regional theatre scene, actually. For now, we're going to hastily walk on over to the Bath Spa train station and catch our homeward bound train. And I'll chat a little bit more about the History Boys to round this all off subsequently. Oh my god, hey. Now, back from the West Country. Whatever music you're hearing in the background is what Aeron is listening to while he's in the shower. It was just Hell's Kitchen. I don't know what it is now. But back from our day of theatre, Come From Away and the History Boys, they were out of programmes at Come From Away. So evidently those have been selling very well, which is impressive considering there's no interval, which is when a lot of theatre audiences by a lot of things. But Come From Away and The History Boys, which is a brilliant, varied two-show day and a great day of theatre for me. I love this play, and I've never had a chance to see it on stage because I fell in love with the very similar film adaptation, which stars, if not the entire original cast of the original production, then much of them. And many of the young stars of that original production and that film adaptation have gone on to hugely successful stage and screen careers, the likes of Samuel Barnett and Dominic Cooper of Mamma Mia and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Jamie Parker, who is now in Next to Normal, and Russell Tovey, and James Corden, of course, and many more besides. Alan Bennett play, originally directed by Nicholas Heitner. I think it's fantastic. I resonate with it an awful lot as someone who in my the final few years of my grammar school experience, I would say I felt like I was getting groomed for Oxbridge in a way I became increasingly indifferent to because I was also moving away from like the academic path to more artsy stuff. But anyway, that's my life story I didn't ask for. I think this play is fantastic. Posner specifically, the character of Posner, I have never felt more seen in a stage production. Like that's just who I was in secondary school. And yeah, really enjoyed this production. Thrilled to finally get the chance to see it on stage. What's fun is I've only ever seen the film, which I don't think Aeron has seen, but he has seen 2 different stage productions of this prior to this evening, which made for really interesting conversations between us afterwards about our interpretations of these characters, having only seen different portrayals previously, which is really interesting. But really liked the use of music and fabulous cast in this. That's little Louis Cornet on the front there, who you may have seen as SpongeBob SquarePants in the SpongeBob SquarePants The Musical Tour. Also Yazdan and Teddy and Gillian Bell. Lots of brilliant musical theatre alumni, as well as some fantastic debuts and just brilliant acting performances. I will say more about each of these shows probably on Instagram and TikTok if you're looking for my full reviews of those, but had a great day. And the takeaway from this can be it is possible to do a regional theatre 2-show day in a place where you don't live. Like you can travel to another part of the UK, go and see a show or 2 shows there in nearby places, because I'd been trying to line this up when it was going to be in Nottingham in a few weeks with something else that we're travelling up the country to go see. That didn't pan out, and then this all came together quite last minute, and yeah, all lined up pretty neatly. So, be adventurous and go and look for the possibilities of 2-show days around the country. And if you've ever done a regional British theatre 2-show day before, let me know. Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this. If you're planning to see either of these shows, if you have seen either of these shows already, these productions, let us know about those in the comments as well. But I hope that you enjoyed this random 2-show regional theatre day in the West Country, in the UK, and I hope that everyone is staying safe and that you have a stagey day. Bye-bye. For 10 more seconds, I'm Mickey Joe Theatre. Oh my god, hey. Thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!